James Taylor and your smiling face on Soft Rock Star 102.5. 9:44, and the day just gets better and better, Jen. We started out with a cloudy, wet kind of day, and the sun has come out. We've had some fun giving some prizes away and talking to some neat folks, and that's not going to stop. We have love letters coming to the Owens Auditorium, Sandhills Community College, 19th through the 22nd, and we have some strong Hollywood power behind this thing.
We do. We're very excited to have Tab Hunter and Joyce DeWitt in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Well, I'm sorry you guys came into such stormy weather last night, but as you can see, we're going to have Carolina blue skies today. So.
I can see that. You know, we were driving in that pouring rain. I thought,
Yeah.
how terrific. I wish we had that in California.
Yeah.
Well, what's exciting here is that there's an old wives' tale that if it snows in the south, if it thunders in the south during the winter, you're going to get a snowstorm 10 days later. So we should get snow now, just so you guys know. But you guys will be gone from it. You have nothing to worry about.
Does it ordinarily snow here this time of year?
No. No, we get very little snows, and so, to have that prediction, it's come true. It just come true.
So you're going to have a white February now.
Maybe. Tell us a little bit about love letters.
Well, it's a wonderful story of two people that follow you. They write letters their whole lives. They meet in grade school.
Mm-hmm, the second grade.
And they follow right on through till, later in life. And it's just a wonderful, touching story of both of them and their love for one another and their lives. And it's just very moving.
So you guys will read these love letters back and forth?
Yes, exactly. And I've worked with Joyce before a number of years ago, and we loved working with one another.
That's right.
I'm thrilled that we're going to be working together again.
This is one of the most beautiful human beings you could ever
stop
know.
it.
Talk about love letters right here.
Tab Hunter, you could just
Well, it's a perfect play. It's a perfect play.
But he's an incredibly perfect human being. And
no, very square like that.
But he's like a beautiful, amazing, deep, gorgeous human being, not just on the outside how pretty he is, but on the inside. Okay. But then working with him goes the next step because he's that good as an actor, a fellow cohort on stage.
I don't act anymore.
Shut up.
You know that. I'm come out of it. I haven't done anything in years, but just the idea of working with George, I thought, that I want to do.
We did discover that working together was beautiful until we get to do it again.
Well, let me ask you about some of the letters real quickly. So you're going to start with the second grade, so it's going to be as simple as do you like me, I like you, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, started with a Valentine to one another and things like that, and stupid things that kids do.
Yeah. Exactly, like, will you be my Valentine? Well, only if you don't ask me to kiss you.
Right.
And then, it moves through their lives, and the marriages that they have, and the children that they have, and the way in which they evolve as adults. Even though
their relation to one another is so they can't very, very strong. And also it mentions writing letters, which people don't do anymore.
They don't.
They text can you is can you. It's just it's just nothing. Here it's really about writing, and writing is sort of turning into a lost art.
And that expression that occurs when you hold a pen and you move your hand and your arm across a piece of paper.
And you have to think about, communicating with one another. And it's all about communication. That's what we're here on Earth for.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
And it's funny, and it's romantic, and it's playful, and it's very touching at times.
Your character, I love her. She's
he loves my character.
She's perfect for it.
Unfortunately, yes, I'm a bit of a wild card. So.
Now we know that we talked to Tab last week and worked with John Wayne and Gary Cooper and many other big stars, and of course we're sitting here calling Joyce Janet in the studio, and you hear that a lot. While those are the big highlights and headlines of your careers that we see, are they the really special moments in your career? Or do you have other things that you've done that you say, that wasn't the biggest thing I did, but boy, that was special to me?
In terms of Three's Company, one could never not be grateful to have been a part of something that creates laughter among human beings and does it, 30 years later. So, nothing other than thank you, God, thank God. But have there been other moments in my working time that were extraordinary? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And most of them were in my theater experiences. And I'm not kidding when I say one of them was working with Tab Hunter when we first met. So there you have it.
Excellent.
I was the nervous wreck the first time I met Joyce because she was this huge star on television, and I thought, what's she going to be like to work with on stage? And she was so giving and warm. It was really terrific. But when we've had so many varied opportunities in our lives to do different performances, and different ones present different things to you, and that's what's so wonderful because you learn, you grow from everything you do, and it's all about growth. Mental, physical, and of course, number one, spiritual.
Yeah, and it's like, does life imitate art, or does art imitate life? There are opportunities where a project comes to you that really has to do with the depth of the process that you as a human being are trying to learn and grow through at the time and become a better human being having come through it. And sometimes it comes from interaction with family, friends, and sometimes it comes through the role that you're offered.
And the people you work with, I know, what was it like working with Don Knotts? And didn't you do a few shows with Lucille Ball?
Little Donnie Knotts. I was called Little Donnie Knotts because Don was the most unassuming human being you can imagine. He would never ask for anything for himself, so I always had to make sure Little Donnie Knotts was taken care of. Gracious, quiet, unassuming, graceful, quite a ladies' man. Thank you.
Really?
Successful in that area. Hard to imagine Barney Fife, but a really beautiful human being. Really, I just talked to his daughter yesterday before coming here.
Really?
She does a one-woman show called Tied Up in Knots about her life.
Oh, that's
Karen
cute.
That's a good title.
Isn't that a good title?
Yes, very
Karen
good.
Knotts. So there's a plug for Karen. It's a wonderful show, actually. It's a wonderful one-woman show. So anyway, Little Donnie Knotts, loved and adored.
Cool.
Now, you guys, you've worked with some amazing, big-time movie stars and stuff like that. I'm sure you were probably starstruck and in awe working with them as well as Joyce.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up living the movies. They were such an important part of my life. Little did I ever realize I would be, working with people like, John Wayne, Lana Turner, Fred Astaire,
Wow.
Gary Cooper, Van
Well,
Heflin,
I've always imagined-
Sophia Loren.
I was going to say, I've always wondered, you were this young, gorgeous actor, and then you're standing across from Sophia Loren, and they're shooting, and I've always wondered how that was. Because you were beautiful, she was beautiful, but she was Sophia Loren, and
She
you
was
were a
fabulous.
young star. Was she
But
wonderful to be with?
and she was wonderful to work with. It's all about, how you
Mesh.
communicate
Yeah.
and mesh together, and that's what's really important. I'll never forget the first time I met Lana Turner. She came on board. We were working on the ship in Hawaii, and she came on board, and one of the guys said, "Oh, Lana, this is Tab Hunter. He's been dying to meet you, as you can tell by his behavior all morning." And I looked at her. I didn't know what to say. I've been a fan of yours since I was a kid. And I thought,
Now, I'm going to ask you guys a little Stevie Sada of the Hollywood. And are there any actors, when you were done working with them, you're like, gosh, if I never have to work with that person again, it'll be too soon? There's got to be.
Of course that happens. But,
I feel that way every morning.
What's your response to that?
She's just kidding. There actually are. They're not names that
You're gonna
would be
try,
recognized.
Oh, okay.
No, they would not be recognized. And two are Canadian, one is American. I'm sorry, Tadala, but they're all male. But there are, if I had a list of I will never work with them again, there are, and I've been doing this almost 50 years, and there are only 3 people on that list.
Really? Well, that's good then.
So that's kind of like, that's how badly they can because it takes a lot to put me. But for the most part, actors come together and directors and the crew, the incredible crews that Tab and I have worked with over the years, both in film, television, and theater. What they do to make it possible for us to go out there and deliver the gift that our hearts want to give to the audience, what the people who don't come out doing curtain call and take a bow, what they do to make that possible is undescribable. You cannot explain how essential and beautiful and important they are.
But you only come down this road one time, and I think that's very important to make the best out of it that you possibly can. Now, you work with people sometimes, you think, oh my gosh, if anything, I'll learn what not to do again next time. But it's all a growth experience. We grow, hopefully, until the day we die.
That's a very positive way to look at it.
Do you
learn patience
I'm
during
sure.
moments like that?
I'm
I call
sure.
patience the P word because I don't have it. So obviously, I was
I
given
don't
3
either.
men who helped me learn it.
And the other thing that's really interesting, particularly in the acting field, is that for every one of us who are doing this, there are hundreds that can do the job as well, if not better.
Yeah.
So just be grateful and give 100%.
I guess it can be very humbling when you look at it like
It was
that.
very
Yes.
important because
Yes.
we're very fortunate people.
Yes.
All of us are if we're aware of it, and we just keep that in mind.
Must have been a lot of right time, right place kind of chance that happens in your favor to get certain parts. I mean, how many people were auditioning for Janet?
Luck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those luck, as Tabby said, those blessings for which you just practice gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, just like every day in your life, no matter how bad it's going, you just look around, your little makeup table or your bedroom when you're putting the bed together, making the bed, and you look at, pretty sheets, lucky me. That is, I
That's
think,
the
so
pony
important.
story. The little kid out there, one kid is shoveling
Yeah,
her stuff, and somewhere under this there's got to be a
Be a
pony.
pony. Very
It's so
positive.
important to just kind of, and for us that we have had such good fortune in our careers, as Tab said, there are so many others out there who are just as good as we are, and probably better for each part that we have done, and yet we had the good fortune to have that sharing with the audience.
I'm thrilled to be working with Joyce again because it's been a number of years, and like I say, I spend most of my time with my horse, around in the garden,
Right.
just taking, so it's I always refer to acting as my past life.
So you're revisiting the past.
So I'm definitely very happily.
Yes, and thank you, Tabby. But it's true. Watching Tab work a horse in a ring is like watching a moving meditation. There's such perfection in it. It's a connection that he's had his whole life, and the way in which he communicates with animals and works the horse, you're mesmerized by the simple beauty of it.
Yeah.
So it is true that as good as he is as an actor, it's really his second career.
But I learn about acting and about people from the horses. We can speak and say this and say that, but you have to try to get inside the mind of the animal, whether whatever,
And how they respond.
Absolutely.
Our equestrian people here would be happy to know that this is a return trip for you. You've spent time in Southern
I spent a little bit of time here. Yes, I had a friend that had a home here, and I used to come down to visit occasionally. I hunted with Moore County Hounds with Pappy and Jenny Moss many, many years ago. I had a great friend, Nancy Sweet Escott, who took care of horses and was a phenomenal English woman. She was fabulous. I loved her. And it's just a wonderful horse community. Unfortunately, I'm the lousiest golfer in the world. I lost 4 balls and 5 holes and gave up as a lost cause.
Oh, you're in good company. There's a lot of people that are bad golfers too. Well, it's called Love Letters. It's this weekend, January 19th to the 22nd only. So this is your only chance to see this show, this performance. And tickets are on sale now. You can call 800-514-ETIX. Joyce DeWitt.
It's going to be
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
Thank you.
much.
Come see our play. You'll enjoy it.
Looking forward to the show. It's going to be fantastic,
Thank
I can
you.
tell. Two are genuinely giddy working with each other, and it's going to show through. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
in.
much.
Thank you again.
Thank you.